Hello everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. Thank you for joining us for the induction briefing of Delta Force. If you have any questions, post them regarding to the inductions. Please post them in the live chat below. We'll answer them at the end of the briefing. We at Delta Force, the coding club of NIT teaching, composed of people passionate about programming. The brief session, this briefing session is aimed at informing you better about who we are, what we do, and what we expect you as an applicant. Now let's take a look at what we do. Our main roles with respect to the college itself. Wha- We handle the software requirements for fests like Festember, Pregyan, and NitFest by building and maintaining the required apps and websites. We also handle websites for the college like the various portals and the main NITT website itself. This, other than that, we also participate in competitions like hackathons. We have won many hackathons, including the Smart India Hackathon, Etherpunk, eh, and we also participate in capture the flag events. Capture the flag events are basically like uh, an information security competition that challenges contestants to solve variety of tasks, including exploiting vulnerabilities. We also have a great competitive coding culture in Delta Force. We regularly participate in the ICPC, which is the biggest coding competitions in the world every year. What we do as a club. We conduct weekly scrums, meet where we discuss of what tech-related things we explored through the course of the week and projects we worked on, the things we came across and learned, and how we approach the problem. There are they also act as a birthplace of several group project ideas. We also give lightning talks, or detailed talks conducted by Delta members on a particular topic to give everyone a better idea about the topic. We also conduct internal hackathons and write blog articles. We also conduct workshops, hacker talks, algos competitions, and various other competitions for the students of NITT, all designed to pass down the knowledge that we have collectively gained. We also conduct DWOC, Delta Winter of Code, an initiative to promote open source culture, not just within the college, but through all the students in India. Here, now let's take a look at a list of personal projects that we've worked on. These are just a small list of all the personal projects we've worked on. And now, let's come to the fun part. The perks of joining Delta. We at Delta have access to our very own lab equipped with high-speed LAN cables and air conditioning. If you've been to Trichy, you'll know how good air conditioning is. We also have our own server, which with great specs, and one of the most important things we have is a peer group of varied skill and yet similar passion. We also have a great alumni network where we reach out to them and seek them for guidance. We also have Bay Zero access for fests, and we also have we also get reimbursements for competition expenses and hackathon travels. Now, now here's a list of all the places our alumni are at. We in Delta Force, the alumni are from various big tech companies like Google, Facebook, Amazon, to the world's finest universities like North Carolina State University, Cornell, Stanford, etc. Now, let's take a look at each of the domains and give a brief introduction and give you a brief understanding of what each domain is.
We at Delta Force makes the most of what. Hey, this is Chirag, a web developer at Delta Force, and I am here to give you an overview of what we do. We at Delta Force makes the most of what you see on your screen, from various first websites to main official NITT websites, which we not only build but also maintain it. We write scalable and maintainable codes in multiple languages to build the front end that you love to see and the back end that serve all your needs. We develop robust websites and games for Pragyan, Festember, Netfest, and Avik, and also for our own programs such as Delta Winter of Code and other projects such as Scholarship Portal, Rambook, etc. So now this question might comes to your mind, that what exactly is web development, or what all stuff goes behind building a website. Well, let me simplify it for you. A web development can be broken down into two parts. Firstly, the front end, which includes technologies like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Front end is basically what you see on your screen in the browser. And the other one is backend, Backend basically connects the server and the database. Well, now don't be scared listening to so many new terms. And firstly, don't get panic. This is just an overview of what we do. Last year, I was exactly like you watching the induction briefing, totally clueless what is server, database, and stuff. I just knew a little HTML and that's all. But during the induction process, I learned a lot from writing backend scripts to connecting it to database and a lot of more stuff. And don't worry, you will also learn it while your inductions. At the end of inductions, you will be well equipped writing your own code and building your own websites and games from scratch and will be able to deploy it. And honestly, Delta is not just about creating web apps. We experiment with different technologies such as server-side rendering, gRPC, WebSockets, and a lot more. Here, we put all our ideas, thoughts, and creativities together, and from pulling all-nighters to coding down the day at Sun Labs, we together build these wonderful websites. So, well, let's wrap it up here. See you guys at the induction process. All the best. Bye.
I'm an app developer at Delta Force. Apps have become an integral part of our life. We use it daily for every purpose and everywhere. Everywhere we go, we search for an app that uniquely satisfies our needs. So in Delta, we develop such apps. We develop apps that are available in Play Store and App Store. So regarding Android apps, we use Kotlin and Java for developing Android OS. We also use Flutter for developing cross-platform apps. We do not restrict ourselves from developing only Android apps, we also develop iOS apps. So in Delta, we develop apps for various college fests like Pregyan, Festember, Knitfest and Harvey. So while developing each app, a definite set of architecture pattern is followed, like MVVM and MVC type of architecture. And a definite set of coding rules and linting rules are followed. So these may initially sound you overwhelming or daunting, but trust me guys, these are super interesting to learn and easier. So the whole induction process is designed in such a way that it takes you through what is app development, it makes you to build your own apps, and finally at the end of the induction process, you can build your own apps that can be published in Play Store. So trust me guys, when I am at your stage, so I don't know much about app development. So I learned everything about app development in the induction process, and I can build my own apps. I can build out my own games, and I used to play my own games and get addicted to those. So the whole induction process is set up as a learning process. So trust me guys, this will be a great opportunity for you to learn and explore various domains. So in case you have confusions like which domain to choose, apply for all three profiles and sort out the ones which you don't like and select the one profile which you like the most and get into it. So thank you. Hope to see you in inductions.
Hello everyone, I'm Guru Prasanna, a second year, and I'm a system administrator here at Delta. Talking about this ISA domain, so what we as system administrators do in Delta. We mainly work with servers to deploy all the applications built in Delta. We work on system and application security, network management, we work with databases and perform various server maintenance tasks like backing up of server and application data and data recovery by writing the necessary scripts for these tasks. We majorly work with softwares like Apache and Nginx to write network configuration for hosting the applications, and Docker to make the development and deployment process easier, and several other technologies, which is actually a fun part of being a syser, that you tend to find a lot of new softwares while exploring something else. You find that interesting, you learn how to use it and how it works, and then you implement it in your application. That's how we do. And also, all of the above mentioned server tasks are carried just using terminal with no access to a graphical user interface. The highlighting part of being a syser in Delta is we regularly participate in CTFs or capture the flag events. Capture the flag is basically a ethical hacking competition which often touches many aspects of information security like cryptography, binary analysis, steganography, reverse engineering, web security, mobile security, etc. So basically the aim of these CTF events is to find a secret message or the flag hidden in an executable binary running in a server or a running web instance as well. It's always a great experience when you hack your way to exploit the vulnerabilities to find the flag. And all of these might sound a bit difficult at first, but after you get the hang of them, they become a lot easier. To be honest, before Delta Inductions last year, I had no idea what system administration, Bash, or any of these things were. But you'll be able to learn all of these things during the induction process with the resources provided, and the tasks are designed in such a way that you'll be able to learn all the basics required for system administration. And also another question you might have is what language you require do you need to know for this profile. So actually there isn't any specific language in particular, but any scripting language will suffice. We mostly use Bash and Python, but it's up to you. Whichever scripting language you're comfortable with, you're free to use it. And yeah, I guess that's about it. Do apply for this profile, explore it, and see if it interests you. Yeah, that's it. See you at the inductions. Bye.
Hello guys, this is Ram Ganesh from Instrumentation and Control Engineering Department. I am here to explain you about the game Code Character. Code Character is a strategy-based game where you control troops in a turn-based game with help of your code. The code can be written in any one of the multiple languages provided. The given languages are C++, Java and Python. So the main objective of the game is to destroy enemies' territory and to protect your territory by building a stronger map basis. So let's log in into the game and look for many cool features. So once you get logged in, you will be shown a dashboard as shown here. The dashboard contains a code editor, a log parser and a map where your game runs. So code editor. Inside the code editor, you will write your code. With help of the documentation given, you can you make use of the helper functions, constants and classes that are already predefined, and you can optimize your code as much as possible. So once you are done with your code, you are allowed to save your code or commit your parts of the code which can be used for future references, and finally you can submit your code. So moving on to the map designer. So the map designer allows you to build a defense base with help of the graphical user interface provided. So the towers are separately priced and they have their separate powers. One can build a tower until the number of coins remaining here becomes 0. So similar to the code editor, you are allowed to save, submit and commit the map. All your code and map commits will be shown here. Your code commits are shown here respectively. Upon clicking any one of the commit, the corresponding code will be shown here. So your map commits will be shown here. So leaderboard. The winner of the game is determined by the leaderboard. In a leaderboard, it shows the number of matches won, tied and lost against. Ratings are calculated depending upon a special algorithm. One can battle against each other with help of this battle icon. So upon clicking the battle icon, the match gets started and you can view your matches here. You can speedrun your logs with help of this button, and you can speed down too. So moving on to the next cool feature is the Battle TV. The Battle TV allows you to watch the matches which you have played previously. The corresponding logs will be shown here. So in this year we have added multi-language support to Code Character, and we have reduced the runtime of the game to a greater extent. So to learn more about Code Character, you can refer to the documentation which is available on the internet. So thank you guys. Hope to see you in Inductions.
Hey everyone, I'm Subhasri, a CSC second year student, and I have been a part of Delta Force for about a year now. I'm going to show you all a demo of Beer Factory. It is one of the games developed by Delta Force and it is hosted every year during Pragyan. Beer Factory is an online strategy-based multiplayer game designed to test the art of resource management. Now let's get into the gameplay. The player of this game is given a factory and the player's objective is to maximize their profit by boosting their popularity and by overcoming various hurdles across different seasons of the game. Now, as you can see, the factory can produce the amount of beer that I order and the player's money will be deducted accordingly. And the next important part is demands. Each retailer demands a certain quantity of beer with a certain deadline. In order to fulfill these demands, the players transport from their factory to the retailers a certain amount of beer which can earn them a profit and which can also boost up their popularity among that retailer. Then we have banks. Whenever the player don't have adequate money to operate his factory, he can always reach out the bank to take loan. But the bank may or may not offer loan based on the player's current credibility score and his ability to repay it. So this is all about the main game. Apart from this main game, we can also have daily challenges and dual games. Daily challenges are mini games where you are given a limited set of resources to complete an objective in a different game environment with restricted game actions. So then we have dual games. In these dual games, the players can compete in real time against other players. Based on their performance in the dual rating will be updated and this rating is calculated based on the ELO system. And of course, the players will get rewards on winning these dual games. Okay, now we'll get into the tech aspect of Beer Factory or how we build the game. The backend of the game is built using Django, which is a Python-based framework, and the front end of the game uses React for its UI, and we use Three.js for rendering these 3D maps. This year, we built these 3D maps using Blender. So in the normal mode of the game, the players compete against an AI-powered bot which also tries to fulfill these retailer demands. So this AI bot is built using a reinforcement learning algorithm called Asynchronous Advantage Actor Critic Algorithm or A3C algorithm. So this AI bot is trained by playing thousands of games against itself, which makes it a potential competitor. And yeah guys, this is all about Beer Factory and hope you all have a great journey in this induction process.
Hello everyone, I'm Suhail and I'm here to talk about Pragyan Premier League. Pragyan Premier League is also known as PPL and let us learn what is PPL. PPL is an online fantasy cricket league that lets you manage your own team. From buying your own squad to deciding the lineups, your decisions decide the fate of your team. Now let us see how to buy and manage a team. Once you're done building your team, you can go ahead and explore the game. Let us do that. Let's go to the dashboard. In the dashboard, you will see the previous matches that you have played and the upcoming matches, receive request, etc., etc., etc. And also the league match stages when the league matches start. In the matches page, you'll be able to see the competitive matches you have played, the friendly matches you have played, and the arena matches that you have played. And in the update default team, you'll be able to update your default team according to your wish. And in squad performance, you'll be able to see your squad performance in the matches that they have played in the respective fields. And you can also buy and sell players to get more money or to get more players. And in the dressing room, you'll be able to choose the players that you wish and then hire a batting coach or a bowling coach or fitness coach or a fielding coach. And then you'll also be able to see the health status and the performance, the play confidence, play form, and play stamina. You can also buy and use energy boosters, which we'll check out. In energy boosters, you'll be able to buy energy boosters and other stuff. As you buy, you can add it to your inventory and then use it to power up your players. Now, let us look at the most important feature of this year's PPL, the arena. The arena is a place where you meet other people who are online at the same time and then match against them. Now, let us enter the arena and look if there are people inside. Unfortunately, there's no one in the arena right now, but let us wait for some time. Oh, a friend of ours has entered the arena. Let us request them for a match and we can choose our default team. And yeah, we've sent them a request and let's wait for them to accept it. Once they accept our request, the match will start immediately. Yes, the match has started and let us have a look at the match. As you can see, the balls are getting sent to you every second. And as you can see, the match is live and you'll be able to predict, you'll be able to see the match as it happens. And no, we lost the game. And yeah, but that was a great match. This is how arena matches takes place. Lastly, I want to address the simulation behind all these matches. The simulation is an algorithmic simulation, which means there's thousands of lines of code that simulate this match using different algorithms and multiple algorithms at the same time to process the outcome of a single ball. And not just that, we also take into consideration every factor that decides the outcome of a single ball and a little hint of probability and a little hint of randomness so that the matches are essentially truthful and honest. So thank you for listening to me, and I would like to end this topic here.
Hey, I'm here though, and right now I'll be walking you through the Last Street. The Last Street is a virtual stock trading game that is active for 7 days, 4 hours each day. The players are given an initial seed money and compete to accumulate the highest net worth, which is the sum total of their total cash and stock worth. We used Golang for the server to handle large amounts of concurrent requests, as multiple players would be trying to place simultaneous bids and asks, and matching these orders requires the server to be robust. Go routines also have much lower than typical memory requirements, making them more efficient. We've used gRPC or Google Remote Procedure Call for communication between the server and the client. It is an open source remote procedure call system which utilizes protocol buffers. It serializes the data in binary format which significantly reduces the payload, thus enabling more efficient communication between the server and the client. It is multiple times faster at sending data, mainly due to the tight packing of the protocol buffers and the use of HTTP2 by gRPC. We've used Flutter for the front end because of its cross-platform nature, which lets us use the same code for both the mobile and web application. Within Flutter, we've used the block architecture instead of the regular Flutter state management techniques because it was easier for us to implement the necessary functions and made the code easier to understand and more readable. At the very top of the home page, we have a live stock ticker which shows us the current value of each stock. Under the top company section, we can view each stock in slightly more detail, as we can view the graph of the trend of the stock price, its current stock price, and the value by which it has changed over the past day. Under the notification section, we can view the most recent notifications that we have obtained. Under the Your Holdings section, we can view the cash in hand, which is the total amount of liquid cash that we currently possess, the stock worth, which is the net total of the values of all the stock that we possess, and the total worth, which is the sum total of the cash in hand and the stock worth that we currently possess. If we scroll down, we can view the most recent news that have been published. The company page allows us to view the details of the company in a much more detailed manner. It includes a text description of the entire company, its market status, which include values like this current price, its day high, its day low values. It includes the graph which shows the upward and downward trends of the entire company, as well as the market depth, which shows us the total number of buy and sell orders that are currently open, along with their volume and their price. It includes the option to place an order, which allows us to select the amount and the type of order that we are trying to make at that moment. In the leaderboards page, you can view the net worth of all the top players as well as your current rank among all the participants. The top 3 players are isolated and shown separately from the others. Coming to the changes that we made this year, we made a modification to the short sell feature to make it intraday, which means that the shorts are squared off by the end of the market day to prevent its abuse by players. We also introduced a new feature, which is the IPO feature. It is designed to introduce newer stocks after the game has already started. Users will be able to place bids on these IPO stocks, which are grouped into slots. After the bidding period, the IPO slots are added to the players and are added to the market with a modified price.
I knew I wanted to. Hi, I'm Sandhya from the 2021 batch, and I currently work at Microsoft India. I still remember the time in first year when I knew I wanted to dabble in computer science, but I wasn't sure of the exact way forward, and so I was researching clubs that would help me in this journey. I came across Delta Force, I read about the work they were doing, and that's when I was very sure that I had to get into this club if I wanted to make my dream come true. You don't have to know anything to get into this club. In fact, even after graduating, it's not like I'm some master of all the trending technologies. Delta is a place where you learn how to learn. You learn to ask questions like, what is that lock icon which is there near the URL bar on your browser? And you are exposed to breadth, but if you are interested in a particular area, you are also encouraged, and people actually help you to understand the depth of whatever you're interested in. That's the best part. And most importantly, there is a huge emphasis on the sharing culture. We alumni and seniors, we consider it our responsibility to help our juniors not just during their tenure at Delta, but also beyond. And I, for instance, I have gained so much from just hearing people talk about whatever they're working on and putting all of that tech talk aside. I feel like I remember the time when seniors actually pulled all nighters to review our resumes and give us last minute guidance so that we could put our best selves forward for any interview or application. I can't forget those days. And honestly, whatever I am today and wherever I am today, I owe it to them. And I hope to continue doing whatever they did for me, for my juniors. Delta, if I were to be very honest with you, is the one place where you will get all the resources to work on whatever you want to work on. And at a time now, and did you know that we have our own server? Yes, we have our own server. And at a time right now when I have to seek approvals and permissions to deploy even one line of code to production, I look back very fondly to my days at Delta where my exploration knew no bounds. So now you know which club you have to be at. So don't waste a moment and go ahead, apply for the inductions.
Hey folks, it's Bhavesh, currently a final year student from the IC department. I've been a part of this club for the past 3 years and honestly it has been an amazing journey so far. I got into Delta as a system administrator, but ever since I got in, I have been exploring every other domain, starting from basic development to blockchain, security, cloud, etc. Delta gives us space to explore and the right environment you need to grow and develop your skills. The peer group we got here was, I guess, the one of the best things that can ever happen in my entire college life. The super friendly culture, the flat hierarchy mentality among people from different batches, and the zest to learn are all the things you can ask for in college, and Delta has provided us with all of these. Coming from a non-CSE background, I got the platform to learn, and it was for Delta that I was able to get professional experience in places like Oracle and HackerRank as well. The amazing and extremely helpful alumni network we have here is one of its kind. We have our alumni in all parts of the world, and it's not just a community but a place where we learn while having fun. We participate in hackathons, competitions like CTFs, ICPC, etc. And the best part about Delta is that we don't look for the sharpest minds. We just want people who want to learn and help back the community. I will still have a lot to talk about Delta, but I'll rather let you explore. And it's the time of year when we take in another bunch of curious heads. So do participate in inductions and feel free to reach out for any sort of guidance or help to any Delta person, and we'll feel good to help you out. And good luck and have fun.
So yeah, guys, that was it. Now I'll be going through about the induction process and what we look for in the juniors. The only requirement to join in Delta is that you love the code. That's it. nothing else. We don't care about your department. We don't care about anything else. We just want people who love to code and who have the thirst for, who have the hunger for learning new technologies. And this is our induction timeline. The registrations will open by 9 p.m. today, and the mentorship process will start with the third week of May. The mentorship process is basically you will be assigned a mentor who will guide you throughout the induction process and will help you and be a point of and will help you learn new skills. You will be given a set of tasks where with no strict deadlines, and you'll be asked them to do and you'll be asked to do them. And in the first week of July, the project starts. Project is basically a culmination of whatever you learned in the Delta mentorship process, and applying them to a single project. And on the third week of July, we'll have our on-sites and PIs. On-sites are basically small one-day tasks where you will be judged on how well you've done how well you know certain concepts and how well you're able to adapt to new challenges and technologies. And you'll be having final set of PIs to see to know how you are as a person and about to judge your technical skills. And by the last week of July, the induction process will wrap. Yeah, that is the induction briefing. Now we'll be taking questions.
Interested in AI and ML, what profile should I apply for? So we work on AI and ML inside the project, but for the induction, there is no specific profile you can apply for in AI and ML itself. We advise you that you explore all three domains through which we induct, and you will definitely get an interest in one of them. And when you're inside the club, you're free to work on literally anything. It's not like if you get inducted as a web developer, you only have to work on web development or anything. Once we're inside the club, we work on whatever we're interested in. What are all the teams you have in Delta Force? So for inductions, we consider three profiles, which is web dev, app dev, and sysad. But as I mentioned earlier, once you're inside the club, the lines aren't like very clear. The lines actually blur. So there are people who came in as a sysad and they learned web dev or app dev or whatever they're interested in. And we all work on whatever we're interested in. Can a person be in Delta and also a part of Pragyan? So if you're in Delta, you're already a part of Pragyan WebOps, so you cannot be a part of other Pragyan teams. If I have started C++ and at least 40%, do I stand a chance in the inductions? So you don't have to have this mentality that you already need to know coding or some specific language like C++. There are multiple people who did not know programming before inductions and learned only through our mentorship process, and they were able to get into the club. The mentorship process itself is designed in such a way that it's more meant for you to learn and grow through the process rather than just to judge you or on your existing skill set. Yeah, and what language do we use in Aptiv? So for inductions, it'll mainly be Java and Kotlin for Aptiv. Yeah. How many people are inducted? We don't have a number which we want to induct. If you are good, you will be inducted. Is it hard to get in? That is subjective. What prerequisites? Nothing. As mentioned earlier, you just need to love to code and you need to have the interest in software programming. If you have no coding experience, yes, definitely. The mentorship process will help you get the experience you need. Will you train us before inductions? So, as I mentioned earlier, we will have a mentorship process and that will be our inductions. So, in the mentorship process, you will be assigned a mentor and that mentor will help you with the tasks which you are assigned. So, basically, you can learn and complete those tasks. Can we apply for all three domains? Yes, definitely. You can apply for all three domains or any domain you are interested in. But at the end, after the mentorship process, you will have to choose one domain which you want to apply for finally. But you're, in fact, encouraged to apply for all three domains so that you get an idea of all three domains before deciding, okay, this is the domain I'm interested in. Is there any team of DSA and CP in Delta? So, in the club, as I mentioned earlier, we do competitive programming in DSA. We host competitions internally and we discuss among ourselves about the DSA and CP contests. So there is no like specific team as such. All of us are interested in DSA. Obviously, it's a fun thing to do. So yeah. Um, are there any team-oriented projects? Okay, so team-oriented projects, as in in every project we work in, there will be a certain team of people who are working on it. Uh, and as we saw the Pragyan projects, different Pragyan projects will be worked on by different teams. For sysadmin, what should we learn? You don't need to know anything already. In the mentorship process, we will give you tasks, and through them you can learn. Basically, it'll be Linux system administration and hosting on a server, etc. Which domain to apply for with C++? So you see, C++ is just a language. You need to learn programming rather than a specific language, right? So with just C++, there's no certain domain you can apply just with C++. You can explore all three domains and see which interests you. If you want to use C++ when applying for that domain, you are free to do that. Uh, yes, you can apply in multiple domains. How many can one apply? Okay. How is Delta different from Spider? All right. So Delta is mainly a programming club. We all of us focus only on programming, whereas Spider is has a different focus. They are a research and development club. They have other domains apart from programming as well. Um, what sort of tasks will be given for inductions? So it'll just be programming tasks, right? So you'll get to know more about it during the inductions. If we apply for all three domains, we have to complete the task of all three. Won't it be tedious? Yes. So of course you'll have to manage your time if you're applying for all three domains at once. But still, it's advised to do so if you're not like very clear on what you're interested in, or if you just want to explore. During the mentorship process, it's not like you have to complete all the domains which you applied for. At any point of time, if you feel like you are more interested in one domain than the other, you can drop out of the other domains and continue only with the domain you're interested in. Once inducted into the club, can we switch domains based on our interest? Yes, definitely you can switch domains. Once you're into the club, the lines aren't very strict. Many people learn other technologies and domains, and they definitely work on projects related to whatever domain they're interested in. When is inductions? So we just showed the timeline. Inductions registration will start today at 9 p.m. and will keep going on till the end of July. So any more questions, you can post it in the chat. Is it possible to land in all three domains? So you can apply for mentorship in how many ever domains you want, but finally you will get inducted only in one of the domains. See, which domain is good for Python? As I mentioned earlier, it's not about the language, right? You can use Python to do anything. Will you give materials for reference? Yes, we'll definitely give you all the materials you want. You will need to complete whatever induction task you've been given. Is the induction process based on mentorship? Yes, it is based on the mentorship. So the mentor will guide you through the tasks, and you'll have to complete the tasks. That's how it works. Okay, there are many questions regarding the difference between Delta and Spider. So as I mentioned earlier, Delta's focus is completely only on programming, whereas Spider has multiple domains and they are more of a R&D based club. You should also look at their induction briefing and their process to get a better idea. Will Bash be useful in any way? Yeah, it can be useful. It's useful for all system administration tasks in Linux. Um, yeah, so there will be a set of PIs after the mentorship tasks are done. So if you look at the timeline again, first there will be a mentorship where you will be given tasks, and after the tasks are done, you will have on-sites and also PIs. Do I need to learn something for the inductions? No, you don't have to learn anything before the inductions. You will have ample time to learn during the mentorship process itself. What are the chances to get into the club? Okay. So we don't have any specific number, like we only want to take in say 20 people. We don't have a number like that. If you are good, you will definitely get it. Okay, on-sites means the tasks will happen in the college. Like you will be called to a certain place, and you'll be given tasks on the day, and you'll be working on them on that site in front of us. That is what on-site means. You don't have to worry too much about the details of the PhD. It's not a company like we have HR round, technical round, or anything. It's, yes, will being in any other club restrict my selection on Delta? Yes, as I mentioned earlier, first thing, you cannot be a part of Prakyan, because if you're in Delta, you're automatically a part of both Festember and Prakyan WebOps. Uh, Apart from that, you cannot be a part of any other technical club. The link for registration will be released by 9 p.m. today.
Yeah, I'm already in one Festember, one of the teams of Festember. So if I join Delta, will I be out of it? There is no restrictions on Festember teams. Multiple members of our club are part and heads of many Festember teams, so there isn't any restrictions on it. Yeah. So if you guys don't have any more questions, we will wrap it up. Yeah. Yes. Thank you for attending the induction briefing. Hope to see you all in inductions, and good luck with inductions. Thank you.